Hey guys, so today I'm here with the Insane Audio Multimedia Center and Navigation Unit. This is going to be for all of you 0718 JK owners out there looking for a fully capable head unit that can do it all. This is going to have a laundry list of features as well as all the basic features that carry over from our stock head unit, and this can even diagnose and read and clear engine codes. So at the moment, this is going to be our only option for a navigation unit on the site, and the price is a little steep at $1,200. Now, there are a lot of navigation units out on the market, and they are a lot cheaper than this one, but I've seen those, and I have seen that they do not have as many features as this one does, so I think that the price does check out. I also like the fact that this thing looks like it came right out of the factory. It has a great OEM fit, and it's covered by a 3-year and 36,000-mile warranty. It's going to be a very easy install at 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So our first step for this install is removing the whole dash so we can access the bolts on our head unit. So first things first, we need to remove the rubber mat on top of our dash, and that is just held in. Take that out. And then there is a 7mm bolt holding in this top tread. So after that top bolt is removed, we are going to remove this center portion here. It may vary model to model. You may just have an open hole, or you may have this centerpiece as your window controls. So you're just going to take a trim removal tool or a flathead, or if you're using a screwdriver, just make sure you're not damaging your plastic, because we are putting all of this back on, and that should just pop out. So you will have to disassemble this wiring harness, and we will put that back together at the end. So you will have a tab up here that you can press down, and you should be able to release that harness. After you have your center portion out, you can now access that 7mm bolt inside there, holding your dash on. So after we're finished with the center portion of the dashboard, we can move over to underneath the steering wheel. We're going to have to remove this trim piece to access 2 more 7mm bolts. So you can start at the top or the bottom. Usually if you start at the top, it is a little bit easier to pry off. So you can completely remove that piece underneath the steering wheel, and then you'll have 2 7mm bolts on either side that we can remove. So after we have this bottom portion removed, with the 2 7mm bolts removed, we can now remove this front dash panel. So I think the easiest way to get in here is to push this portion back and wedge your trim removal tool here, and you can pull forward since it is held in with clips. That'll at least get you started. Pull that portion up and out and just move around. Alright, and once that is completely popped out of all of its clips, you can fully remove it. So with our dash panel completely removed, we can now access the 4 7mm bolts that are holding in our stock head unit. So we can go ahead and remove those so we can get this out of here. So to give yourself a little bit of room, you can either use a deep socket 7mm like I'm using here, or you can use an extension with shallow socket. It will just give you a lot more room to work with. So after we have those 4 bolts removed, we can pop our head unit out. after our head unit is out, we have our main wiring harness and then another wiring harness. We're gonna disconnect both of those. This will have a lever on the back. Just have to push that in. And then this little tricky guy will have a lever over here, but you have to push that out. So what I did, I just took a flathead screwdriver, push that out, and it will slide right off. Then you can fully remove your head unit. So right off the bat, you can tell that there's a bunch of huge visual differences between the stock head unit and our new Insane Audio head unit. So our stock head unit has a bunch of limited controls, a very little screen, and big buttons. And then when you move over to our new head unit, you see that there's a lot more options on the side here and a big faced LCD screen, which is touchscreen. So along with being a lot different visually, this is gonna be a lot more durable than our stock head unit. This is gonna be made with no moving parts, so nothing is gonna wear out or break over time. And this is also IP66 rated, which means it's completely dustproof as well as completely waterproof. So if it's dusty out on the trail and you do have your top down, the dust will not bother the new head unit. And if you are power washing your Jeep out, and if you accidentally spray this head unit will be okay. So let's get this thing installed on our Wrangler. So after we've disconnected our harnesses and fully removed our head unit, if you do have Uconnect, I would take out that Uconnect module. Insane Audio has realized that the Uconnect modules can still stay active and they can actively drain your battery. So I would take that out immediately after, and now we can get ready to put our new head unit in. So after uninstalling our stock head unit, we have to do a little bit of assembly with our new wiring harnesses before we get this new unit into our Wrangler. So this will be our main wiring harness that's gonna give us power to our head unit. So we can connect this back connector here into this black box, which also has a 15 amp fuse. And everything that you need right off the bat is going to already be wired in here. Now you have two orange wires that will be disconnected. If you do have a reverse camera, I would recommend connecting these and hooking up your camera with this auxiliary wire and your RCA cable that you have here. But if you do not have that, you do not have to connect that or connect that wiring harness. So after this is connected, we can move along to our other components. So next we can install our GPS module onto our new head unit. So you will have a little screw that you will be able to screw into the back here. This will connect on the far side and you can hand thread that on, and once it's hand threaded on, you can tighten it lightly down with an 8mm wrench. All right, once that back section is attached, this is actually a magnet, so you can just place that right on top. So after our GPS module is installed, we can install our Wi-Fi antenna on a very similar adapter over here. You can just hand thread that on, and once that is threaded down completely, you can just lightly tighten that with an 8mm wrench so it's snug. So after you have your Wi-Fi antenna attached, you can attach your accessory cables. So your first accessory cable that you can attach is your external mic. Now, we're not gonna actually mount up the head of the microphone just yet because we're gonna wait till we're inside of the cab with this bolted up, but we can attach the end so we can feed that through when we're inside of the Jeep. So you are gonna attach this here. So this accessory wire here is gonna be our phone adapter. So this is a little bit of an older model. If you wanna go out and outsource, you can get something that will adapt to your phone. But anyway, this will attach to this accessory wire coming off of the back here. So your last accessory wire is gonna be your USB adapter, and you're actually gonna have two USB ports down here. So you wanna make sure that your GPS module is out of the way of those. So you can just plug one end in and leave the other end open for another USB. And you can run that along with your other wires. So with all of the wiring that comes in the kit, you're also gonna get this little blue module here. This is gonna plug into your OBD2 and allow your new head unit to read and clear trouble codes. Also, Insane Audio is gonna provide a wiring diagram as well as a circuit diagram on top of the head unit. So now that we have all of our accessory wires connected, we have two wiring harnesses left out of the box. So this is gonna be your RCA wiring harness. This is if you have an aftermarket subwoofer and other auxiliary systems inside your Wrangler. We don't, so we're gonna leave this harness alone. And then this last wire is gonna be your AM/FM radio wire. So this is just gonna attach right in the back here, and we will plug this into the existing harness that's already in the Jeep. So before we bolt up our new head unit, we need to run our wires so that they are accessible inside the cab. So what Insane Audio recommended is to feed them through the side and into our glove box. So there is a little hole and you'll be able to see the light in there. Then we can feed those through so we can access when they're inside the cab. You can do the same with your phone wire. So after those are fed through, we can attach our wiring harness. So we can attach our main wiring harness first. That will clip in. We can tuck that back there. Then we can attach our AM/FM connector together. So after that is attached, you can take your external microphone and route it up through here. We're gonna mount it up on top of our dash. So we can let this wire sit up here just for now and tuck the rest of it behind with our head unit. And you wanna leave enough slack to where you can mount up your microphone. So after all of your wires are run through, we can mount up our system. So I would recommend to clean up your wiring a little bit, just because this is gonna be a lot into this smaller compartment here. And you don't want to crimp anything or stress any of your wires. Tuck all of your wiring after it's secured in. And after that, you can tuck and clean up all of your wiring. So after your nav unit is mounted up, then we can bolt it in with the 4 7mm bolts. So now that our nav system is bolted up and wired in, we can pop our dash back on. So before actually popping it on, I would recommend that you check to see how much length you should have for your external mic, and just be careful that you're not mounting it near any vents or you're not mounting it near your window so you don't get a lot of outside interference. Once everything's in place, you can just pop it back in. So before popping in our trim piece that's underneath the steering wheel, we need to reinstall those bolts that we took out. Now you can either pop in this storage center piece, or if you have a window controller like we do, you can reconnect the wiring harness. Clip that in and push that little pin down and just pop that back into place. Now we can bolt in this top section here. After that's bolted in, you can pop in your little plastic piece and mount up your mic to wherever you want. Now we can pop in the lower panel underneath our steering wheel. So the first thing that you want to do once you have your navigation unit on is go into your Bluetooth so you can set up your OBD2 module. So once you're in your Bluetooth setting, you can plug that into your OBD2. And when it is blinking red, it will mean that it's not paired. So then you can search for your devices and it will come up as OBD2. So you can click on that and connect. and then it will pair. So when you go into your Torque app, it will be connected to your ECU, so you'll be able to see all of your real-time data. You'll be able to see a tachometer, your speedometer, your coolant temperature, acceleration, your throttle response, and if you do have a RIP supercharger or anything, you can see your boost. So you can go through here and see your quarter-mile time and your best 0 to 60. Not that you might need it. But then you can go all the way up to your top option and it will read all of your emissions readiness and your DTC. And if you tap this little tip in the corner, it will show you any fault codes. So while you're on your home screen, along with your Torque app, you have a number of different applications. If you click into your apps, it will show you everything that's available. And this thing is gonna be pretty much a smartphone. You can go on Google, you can check your Gmail, you have a calendar, calculator, clock, really anything that you want. I would like to mention that in the corner you will have a starter guide that will walk you through everything and be able to set up your navigation system to exactly how you want it. So that's it for my review and install on the Insane Audio Navigation Unit and Multimedia Center. For more videos like this, keep it right here at extremeterrain.com.